I never thought a broken elevator would change my life, but here I am, telling you about the day everything shifted. My name is Marcus, and I work as a junior accountant on the 14th floor of a glass tower downtown. Every morning I ride up in that same elevator, watching the numbers climb, while holding my lukewarm coffee and thinking about spreadsheets. The elevator smells like cleaning solution, and someone's perfume from earlier in the day. The walls are that brushed metal that shows every fingerprint. That Tuesday started like any other. I squeezed in with 5 other people, all of us staring at our phones or the floor numbers, avoiding eye contact like good city dwellers. There was Sarah from HR on the 9th floor, always wearing bright scarves and humming under her breath. An older man in a security uniform I'd seen, but never spoken to. A woman in an expensive suit carrying a leather briefcase, and 2 others I didn't recognize. We were between floors 7 and 8 when it happened. A grinding sound, metal on metal, then a lurch that made my stomach drop. The lights flickered once, twice, then died completely. Someone gasped. My coffee sloshed against the lid. Emergency lighting kicked in, bathing everything in dim red. "Is everyone okay?" the security guard asked. His voice was steady, calming. His name tag read Wilson. We all murmured, "Yes," but I could feel my heart hammering. The woman in the suit immediately pulled out her phone. "No signal," she said sharply. Wilson pressed the emergency call button. Nothing. He tried again. Still nothing. "Great," suit woman muttered. "Just great. I have a meeting with a regional director in 20 minutes. I'm sure they'll get us out soon," Sarah offered, though her usual brightness had dimmed. She pulled her scarf tighter around her neck. But minutes passed. Then an hour. The air grew warmer, thicker. I loosened my tie. One of the people I didn't recognize, a younger guy with headphones around his neck, sat down in the corner, knees pulled up. The other, an older woman with gray streaks in her hair, leaned against the wall, with her eyes closed. "We should introduce ourselves," Wilson said. "Might be here a while. I'm Frank Wilson, building security for 12 years. We went around. The suit woman was Diana Chen, a lawyer. The older woman was Ruth, visiting her daughter, who worked on 11. The young guy was Tyler, a temp worker on his 3rd day. We all knew Sarah, and then there was me. "So what do we do?" Tyler asked. "We wait," Frank said. "They know we're stuck. The elevator system logs everything." But another hour passed, then another. Diana paced the small space like a caged animal. Ruth's breathing had become labored, wheezy. Sarah noticed too. "Are you okay, Ruth?" she asked, crouching down beside her. "My inhaler," Ruth whispered. "It's in my purse. I dropped it when we stopped. It rolled somewhere." We all started searching in the red dimness, panning the floor. The space was so small, but somehow in the dark and the panic, that inhaler had vanished into some corner or crack. "Everyone stay calm," Frank said, but I could hear the edge in his voice now. Ruth's breathing got worse. That whistling, struggling sound filled the elevator. Diana stopped pacing. Tyler stood up. We were all frozen, watching this woman fight for air. Something shifted in me then. Maybe it was the fear. Maybe it was being trapped with strangers, and realizing we were all we had. But I felt suddenly clear. I pulled out my phone, turned on the flashlight, even though the battery was at 15%. "Everyone phones out. We need more light." Diana and Tyler joined me. Sarah held Ruth's hand. Frank started methodically checking every corner, every seam in the floor. "Here," I said. The inhaler had rolled under the tiny gap beneath the control panel. I got down flat on my stomach, reaching, my arm scraping against metal. My fingers brushed plastic. Almost. I stretched further, my shoulders screaming, and grabbed it. Ruth took it with shaking hands and used it. The relief on her face was immediate. Her breathing slowly steadied. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you." We all sat down then, forming a circle in that cramped red space. Something had changed between us. Diana wasn't checking her phone anymore. Tyler wasn't hiding in the corner. Frank looked tired, older than his years. 12 years, Diana said quietly. "You've worked here 12 years? Frank nodded. "Raised my daughter on this job, put her through college. She graduated last month." "Congratulations," Sarah said, and she meant it. "What about that meeting?" Tyler asked Diana. She laughed, but it wasn't bitter. "You know what? They'll figure it out. I've been chasing the next promotion, the next case, the next win for so long, I forgot what actually matters." She looked at Ruth. "Are you feeling better?" "Much," Ruth said. "I'm supposed to have lunch with my daughter. First time in 6 months. We had a falling out over something stupid, something I can't even remember now. She reached out last week to reconcile." "You'll make that lunch," I said. And I believed it. We talked then, really talked, in a way I never had with strangers. Frank told us about his daughter, how proud he was. Diana admitted she hadn't spoken to her own parents in 2 years, over a disagreement about her career. Sarah shared that she hummed because it kept her anxiety at bay, something she'd done since she was a kid. Tyler confessed this temp job was his last chance after being fired from 3 others, for showing up late, for not caring. I told him about my life, how I'd been going through the motions for 3 years, showing up, doing the minimum, never connecting with anyone, never taking risks, just watching numbers climb like elevator floors. You know what's funny? I said. I've been stuck for years. It just took an actual stuck elevator to realize it. Sarah smiled at that. Even Diana cracked a small smile. 4 hours in, we finally heard sounds outside. Voices, mechanical noises. Frank stood up. That's the rescue team. 20 minutes later, they pried the doors open. We were between floors with maybe 2 feet of clearance at the top. They helped us climb out one by one, into the 8th floor hallway where EMTs waited with water and blankets, even though it was 70 degrees. Ruth hugged her daughter when she came running down the stairs. Diana asked me for my number, said she knew someone at a firm that was hiring, if I wanted to change. Tyler and I exchanged information too. He asked if I wanted to grab coffee sometime, just to talk. Frank invited all of us to his daughter's graduation party that weekend, and Sarah, still humming, gave me a bright yellow scarf. You looked cold in there, she said with a wink, even though we'd been sweating. I took the stairs to my floor that day, and the next day, and the day after. Not because I was afraid of the elevator, but because I wanted the time to think, to feel my legs moving, to be present in my own life. I did meet up with Tyler for coffee. I went to Frank's daughter's party. I called my own parents that night for the first time in months. I applied to the job Diana mentioned. The elevator got fixed within a week, but I was already different. I started saying good morning to people in the hallway. I stayed late to help a colleague who was drowning in work. I took a painting class on weekends, something I'd always wanted to try. 3 months later, I ran into Sarah at a coffee shop. She was with a man, laughing, her scarf bright orange this time. Marcus, she said, hugging me. How are you? Good, I said, and realized I meant it. Really good. You look different. Lighter somehow. I feel it, I told her. That elevator, what happened? It showed me something. We were all stuck in different ways before that day, but we helped each other climb out. She nodded, understanding. We did, didn't we? I think about that sometimes, about how we go through life in our own small boxes, moving up or down, but never really seeing the people next to us, never really connecting. It takes something breaking, some unexpected stop, to make us look around and realize we're all in this together. The elevator still works. I ride it sometimes now, but I always make eye contact. I always say hello, because I learned that being stuck isn't about where you are. It's about whether you're willing to reach out your hand when someone needs it, whether you're brave enough to be seen by strangers who might become something more. And every time those doors close, and the numbers start to climb, I remember that day. I remember Ruth's breathing evening out, Frank's pride in his daughter, Diana's laugh, Tyler's hope, Sarah's humming. I remember feeling trapped and scared, and then somehow, impossibly, feeling more connected than I ever had before. That broken elevator didn't just stop between floors. It stopped me from sleepwalking through my own story. And for that, I'm grateful.